anti-terror politics in Lok Sabha polls run up.
हेमंत करकरे साहेबांचा ही गोळी कशाच्या
Congress neta backs Kasab, blames RSS.
जैसे मुशर्रफ साहब ने जो किताब लिखी है उसी का दाखला देकर मैंने बात की। ये अतिरेकी के बंदूक से नहीं हुआ है और इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ये सामने आया है।
Channi calls Pooch terror attack a BJP stunt.
जब इलेक्शन आते हैं तो ऐसे स्टंट खेले जाते हैं और बीजेपी को जिताने का संविधान तैयार किया जाता है।
Netas politicizing terror for votes. Is Congress giving a free pass to terror? Top focus on 5 Live.
You're with the news here on India Today with me, Shiv Arur. This is 5 Live. Thanks as always for tuning in. We're standing here a day before the third phase of elections. I'm Shiv. These are the headlines. A day after quitting the Congress, vocal face of the party, Radhika Khera, takes aim at the Congress's anti-Sanatan stand, claims she was harassed for visiting the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. Another big Paisa Pahad, 30 crore rupees and counting, cash mountain seized from Congress minister's aide in Jharkhand. Prime Minister Modi hits out, says he will stop the opposition from looting the nation. India Today accesses Congress's Amethi game plan. Priyanka Gandhi to lead 12 days of intensive campaigning. Blistering social media onslaught also planned. H.D. Revanna seeks bail in the Karnataka sex abuse probe. The JDS MLA is currently in SIT custody until May the 8th. His son Prajwal Revanna is still chilling and holidaying in Germany despite rape allegations. Big war over Karnataka BJP video on Muslim quota. FIR lodged against BJP top brass at the national and Karnataka level on allegations of inciting communal discord. Viewer, I have some very bad news to share. There is no Pakistan-sponsored terror. As a nation, we've been chasing a ghost for decades, and today it's time we apologize and accept that we are wrong. We have always been wrong because the men who attacked Mumbai on 26/11 were not Pakistanis. The man who bombed the CRPF convoy in Pulwama in 2019 did not receive Pakistani training. The men who ambushed an Indian Air Force truck in Poonch on the weekend and killed a young corporal had nothing to do with Pakistan. The men who set fire to the army's Uri camp in 2016 had no Pakistani link whatsoever. In fact, our special forces who conducted the surgical strikes didn't kill Pakistani terrorists, because there were no Pakistani terrorists to begin with. The men who infiltrated India and attacked the Pathankot base a few months before that also had nothing whatsoever to do with Pakistan. Dawood Ibrahim is not sitting in Pakistan. The Lashkar-e-Taiba is a charitable organization. The Jaish-e-Mohammed is an educational NGO. Why have we wasted so much time blaming Pakistan for all these things? We could have spent time doing something much more useful. There is no such thing as Pakistani terror. Today, the nation must bow to two towering Congress netas who, with the sheer ammunition of language, have obliterated Pakistan terror as we know it, viewer. They have achieved and managed to do what India has struggled to achieve for decades. So we must extend our namaskars and thanks to them. A grateful nation thanks both these Congress leaders, because with their words, Pakistani terror has ceased to exist. Congress leader of the opposition in Maharashtra, Vijay Wadetiwar, has handed Pakistan's Lashkar-e-Taiba a get-out-of-jail card by declaring that Mumbai hero and ATS chief Hemant Karkare was killed not by terrorist bullets by the infiltrators, but from shots fired by an RSS-linked police officer. Well, he's echoing the totally discredited words of a disgruntled former Mumbai cop in a widely discredited book. Wadetiyar has allowed his eagerness to bash the Sangh Parivar to actually issue a clean chit to Pakistan's ISI and the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the group from which 10 men arrived in Mumbai and killed so many, including Hemant Karkare, a hero, and we must remember him for that. Like so many things that Congress motormouths say, you'd think that the party would follow the usual drill and say this was Vijay Wadetiyar's personal opinion and that it had nothing to do with the party. But no, this is election because Wadetiyar already has an official wingman in the form of none other than Shashi Tharoor, who has added firepower to this Lashkar clean chit by calling for an investigation into just how Hemant Karkare died. Remember, we're in the middle of elections, viewers. So when a Neta randomly picks up an issue from the past, like 2611, and then gets backup support, it is to make a political point for this election. Let there be no doubts about that. The action here to point a finger at the RSS, the effect, a clean chit for Ajmal Amir Kasab, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, and of course, Pakistan. But Vijay Wadetiyar isn't a one-off. If it was a one-off, it could at least perhaps be understood because politicians say all kinds of things during elections and even not during elections. But he follows in the hallowed legacy of Congress stalwarts like Digvijay Singh, the patron saint of the entire saffron terror conspiracy, and others who've tried to milk the 2611 terror attack, one of India's worst, as a possible crucible for Hindutva terror. Not because it's borne out by facts, but because even innuendo serves cynical vote bank politics. And then there's the Congress's Charanjit Singh Channi. What to say of this man? A man who became the face of the party's obliteration in Punjab a couple of years ago. A man who was so busy dancing the bhangra at political events that he shamefully lost both the seats he contested in Punjab. Well, after his humiliating defeat in the Punjab polls, he quietly decamped to Canada where he remained incommunicado for months together. But even Charanjit Singh Channi has the standing and authority, viewer, today to declare that the terrorist ambush on an Air Force convoy 2 days ago in Poonch, J&K, far from having a Pakistani connection, was actually a BJP stunt to win the elections. Does Vijay Wadetiyar really care who killed Hemant Karkare? Or is this really about brazenly attempting to stir cynical doubt in one aspect of one of the worst Pakistani terror attacks on Indian soil? Does Charanjit Singh Channi really care about who ambushed the Indian Air Force convoy, killing a brave young corporal? Or do such silly details not matter anymore, especially when we're in elections? Every terror attack, big or small, deserves an investigation. Let there be no mistake about that, of all aspects, of every angle. But I will leave it to you, viewer, to judge if these clean chits to Pakistan spring from a genuine yearning for the truth or to achieve the cheapest political points this election season.
Two Congress leaders are in the line of fire over their comments on terrorism.
ऐसा है कि ये स्टंटबाजी हो रही है.
Former Punjab Chief Minister and Congress's Ludhiana candidate Charanjit Singh Channi has stoked a massive controversy, questioning the terror attack on an Indian Air Force convoy in Jammu and Kashmir last week. Channi remains defiant in the face of scathing criticism by the Bharatiya Janata Party.
ऐसा है कि ये स्टंटबाजी हो रही है, हमले नहीं हो रहे. पिछली बार भी जब इलेक्शन आते हैं तो ऐसे स्टंट खेले जाते हैं और बीजेपी को जिताने का संविधान तैयार किया जाता है. पिछले इलेक्शन में जब पार्लियामेंट के इलेक्शन थे, हमारे 40 जवान शहीद हो गए और उन पे अटैक हुआ. आज तक सरकार ने ये पता नहीं किया कि वो अटैक किसने किया, कौन लोग उसके जिम्मेवार हैं. अब फिर इलेक्शन आया है, फिर हमारे जवानों पे अटैक हुआ, फिर जवान शहीद हुआ. ये पॉलिटिकली इसको स्टंट बनाकर क्यों बीजेपी यूज करती है?
The BJP has accused the Congress of insulting our soldiers in the line of fire for electoral gains.
कांग्रेस हो, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हो या समाजवादी पार्टी, इनके बयान आतंकवाद को प्रश्रय देने वाले, राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाले, भारत के बहादुर जवानों की शहादत को अपमानित करने वाले हैं।
In Mumbai, leader of opposition Vijay Vadattawar triggered a huge controversy with his latest claims on the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, and the BJP candidate Ujjwal Nikam, who was the senior public prosecutor in the Kasab case.
आमच्या यांचा खून झाला हेमंत करकरे साहेबांचा, ती गोळी कसाबच्या बंदुकीतली नव्हती, कुठल्या अतिरेक्यातली नव्हती, तर ती गोळी एका पोलीस अधिकाऱ्यांची होती, आरएसएस समर्पित. त्यावेळेस ते पुरावे लपवणारा देशद्रोही कोण असेल तर तो उज्ज्वल निकम आहे.
वो ऐसे मुशर्रफ साहब ने जो किताब लिखी है उसी का दाखला देकर मैंने बात की थी, और वह सत्य है. उन्होंने किताब में लिखा है, किताब पे बंदी नहीं है, और उसमें स्पष्ट रूप से लिखा है कि हेमंत करकरे का खून ये अतिरेकी के बंदूक से नहीं हुआ है, और इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ये सामने आया है.
The BJP has filed a complaint with the Election Commission against the Congress leader.
वो टेक्निकल चीज पे मत जाइए, ये कांग्रेस वालों को कुछ नहीं मालूम. ये अभी चुनाव आने वाला है, उसको विषय बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, इस पे मत जाइए.
The latest controversies come even as Prime Minister Narendra Modi sharpened his attack on the Congress on the issue of terrorism and on Pakistan backing the Congress in these elections.
यहाँ कांग्रेस मर रही है और वहां पाकिस्तान रो रहा है. आपको पता चला होगा, कांग्रेस के लिए अब पाकिस्तानी नेता दुआ कर रहे हैं. पाकिस्तान और कांग्रेस की ये पार्टनरशिप अब पूरी तरह एक्सपोज हो गई है.
Channi took a U-turn and said he had just demanded that the government should make the names of the people involved in Pulwama incident public. BJP continues to attack Congress, saying that Channi has deliberately made an attempt to tarnish the image of the country and question the valor of the Indian soldiers. With camera person Aman Gupta, this is Manjeet Sehgal in Chandigarh for India Today.
Gaurav Sawant, the managing editor, is with me for more on this story. You know, Gaurav, you and I covered 26/11 together. You and I covered, many of the terror attacks that are being politicized in this irresponsible manner. You know, most people will write these off saying, "Arey, ye election hai, politics mein ye sab chalta hai." But what is the effect of this kind of irresponsible stuff on the ground, Gaurav?
So, former Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi's statements will actually go viral in Pakistan, as will Vijay Vadattakar's statement, where he says that Hemant Karkare was killed by a bullet fired by an RSS-backed police officer. Now, when somebody like Charanjit Singh Channi, who's former Chief Minister of a very sensitive border state of Punjab, when he calls the Poonch attack stuntbazi, now Pakistan will immediately lift this and say this is what a senior Indian political leader is saying, and that is why India targeting Pakistan is absolutely wrong. This would be then broadcast at multiple fora, including international fora, whether it's the United Nations, the United States, the United Kingdom, world over. So domestic politics in India gets international ramification and shows India's fight against Pakistan state-sponsored radical Islamist terror in very poor light. As far as the Pulwama terror attack is concerned, and again, Shiv, you and I have covered Pulwama very closely. When people say they don't know who was involved in it, it's just their ignorance, because the National Investigation Agency has actually filed a charge sheet in this case. It's not as if the investigation is still on today. A charge sheet has been filed Jaish-e-Mohammed was responsible, where the RDX came from, where the bombs were made, how was it targeted, who were the handlers in Pakistan. All of that information is in public domain as part of the NIA charge sheet. It's a 13,000-page long charge sheet. If only Charanjit Singh Channi and other political leaders would read before politicizing a national security issue and giving Pakistan a clean chit.
Incredibly short-sighted and irresponsible is the mildest way we can describe the comments that have been made by these two leaders. Gaurav, thank you very much for that. But I also wanted our viewers to hear the words of Devika Rotavan, who I want to welcome onto our show right now. Devika Rotavan, for those who may not know, was 9 years old during the 26/11 attack. She was shot in the leg by the Pakistani terrorists at the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus, and she was one of the witnesses that helped nail Ajmal Amir Kasab in the 26/11 investigation. So her service to Indian national security is incredible. And remember, she was a 9-year-old child when the terrorist attack happened in Mumbai. She suffered a gunshot wound to her leg. Devika ji, आपका स्वागत है. हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने बहुत देखा है इन सालों में देविका जी कि जो आतंकवादी हमले जो होते हैं देश में, उनके ऊपर जो राजनीति चलता है, ये जो लेटेस्ट इंसिडेंट जो है, जो विजय वडेट्टीवार जो लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन है महाराष्ट्र में, उन्होंने ये एक बयान दिया है कि हेमंत करकरे को गोली चलाने वाला वो अजमल आमिर कसाब या पाकिस्तानी आतंकवादी नहीं था, लेकिन एक आरएसएस बैक्ड एक पुलिसमैन था. आप ये सुनकर आप कैसे रिएक्ट करेंगे?
सर, ये सुन के सबसे पहले तो मुझे आ रहा है बहुत गुस्सा कि आप ऐसे कैसे स्टेटमेंट किसी भी बात पर दे सकते हो. हमारे जख्म पे आप खुद नमक डालने का काम क्यों कर रहे हो? हेमंत करकरे सर आज जो इस दुनिया में नहीं है, अपने देश के लिए उन्होंने जान दी है, आप उनके बारे में ये बातें कर रहे हो तो ये तो बहुत गलत है. उनको कसाब की गोली नहीं लगी या अबू इस्माइल की गोली नहीं लगी तो किसकी लगी? आप वहां मौजूद थे, आपने देखा क्या कोई आरएसएस के थे या कोई और व्यक्ति थे जिसने गोली मारी? इतना रिपोर्ट आ चुका है, गोली का प्रूफ है, सब कुछ है, तो आप ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हो? आप अपनी राजनीति रोटी सेकने के लिए हम सभी को खेल क्यों बनाते हो? हमारी भावनाओं के साथ क्यों खेला जाता है ये सब?
क्योंकि 26/11 को लेकर पाकिस्तान ने कुछ नहीं किया देविका जी, आपने भी देखा है, कुछ भी एक्शन नहीं लिया गया है. जो लोग जिम्मेदार थे 26/11 के लिए, उनके खिलाफ कुछ भी एक्शन नहीं लिया गया है पाकिस्तान की तरफ से. इंडिया की तरफ से बहुत डॉसियर्स गए हैं, प्रूफ गया है, सबूत गया है, लेकिन वहां पे जो लोग जिम्मेदार थे 26/11 के लिए, वो बिल्कुल जिंदा हैं, ऑपरेशनल अभी भी हैं. ये देखकर क्या आपको लगता है कि ये जो राजनीति चलता है 26/11 को लेकर? जी बिल्कुल, बताइए.
जी सर, ये राजनीति आप 26/11 को लेके क्यों कर रहे हो? आज काफी लोग शहीद हुए, काफी लोग मारे गए, उसमें कई लोगों को घायल हुए. आज उस घायल में एक मैं भी हूँ. उन लोगों पे क्या बीतती अगर ये बातें सुनकर? आज जिन्होंने अपने देश के लिए जान दिया है, निकम सर ने अपने देश के लिए लड़े, आप उनके ऊपर ये सब आरोप लगा रहे हो तो ये गलत है. अगर आपको ये बातें लग रही थी तो आप इतने सालों में कहाँ गायब थे? आज 15 साल होने आए 26/11 को, आप 15 साल बाद आके ये बोलते हो कि कसाब की गोली उनको लगी नहीं. तो किसकी गोली लगी? आप पाकिस्तान के साथ मिल गए हो या पाकिस्तान का आप साथ देते हो? ऑलरेडी पाकिस्तान कभी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करती है कि पाकिस्तान से आतंकवादी 10 भेजा गया था. बहुत मुश्किल से हमारी इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने ये सारी सबूत उन्हें दिया गया है, तो भी वो मानती नहीं है और आप उनके साथ दे रहे हो कि नहीं आतंकवादी तो थे ही नहीं. तो क्या थे? कौन थे? कसाब नहीं था तो वो कौन था जिसकी गोली मुझे लगी, जिसे मैंने जाके कोर्ट में पहचाना? वो कौन आतंकवादी था जिसके वजह से इतने ऑफिसर शहीद हुए? 10 आतंकवादी जो आए थे तो वो कहाँ से आए थे, कौन थे? अगर आपको पता है तो आप हमें बताइए ना. फिर हमें इंसाफ फिर क्यों नहीं दिया गया अभी तक?
बिल्कुल. देविका जी, एक 2 और सवाल मैं पूछना चाहता हूं आपसे. एक कि बहुत लोगों को शायद आज पता चल रहा है कि देविका रोतावन एक लड़की थी उस दिन जिसके शरीर पर गोली लगी थी. क्या आप हमको एक बार फिर आप सुनाना चाहेंगे कि उस दिन क्या हुआ था? मैं इसलिए ये पूछ रहा हूं क्योंकि हमारे जो व्यूअर्स हैं उनको ये महसूस हो जाए कि एक लड़की जो थी वहां पर, लड़की आज बोल रही है कि ये जो
जी सर।
पॉलिटिक्स चल रहा है ये गलत है, तो सुनाइए कि क्या हुआ था उस दिन आपके साथ।
जी सर, 26 की रात तो सर मैं कभी भूल नहीं सकती हूँ, ना ही मैं भुला पाऊंगी, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है अगर मैंने भुला दिया तो मैंने आतंकवाद को माफ कर दिया, जो कि मैं गलती से नहीं करना चाहूंगी। उस दिन सर मैं मेरे फैमिली के साथ, मेरे पापा, मेरे भाई और मैं, हम तीनों पूना जाने के लिए बैंड्रा से सीएसटी गए थे। सीएसटी में 12 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म के सामने बैठे, उतने में मेरा भाई बोला मुझे टॉयलेट आया। पापा बोले तो टॉयलेट जाके आ जा, फिर हम टिकट निकाल के जाएंगे। जैसे ही वो टॉयलेट को गया, अचानक से बॉम्ब स्फोट हुआ और गोली फायरिंग होने लगती है। लोग भागने लगते, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि आखिर यहाँ क्या हो रहा है। किसी के पैर पे गोली लग रही है, तो किसी के हाथ पे, तो किसी के सर पे। मैं देखते रह रही हूँ। उतने में मेरे पापा मुझे बोलते कि बेटा यहाँ से चलो, कुछ तो गलत हो रहा है। भागते हम भी, मैं मेरे पापा के साथ भागने की कोशिश करती हूँ, तब एक गोली आके मेरे राइट पैर में लगती है। भागने के पहले मैं एक शख्स को देखती हूँ जो बुटका सरीका है, जिसके हाथ में बड़ी सी गन है और वो अंधाधुंध गोली फायरिंग कर रहा है। ऐसा लग रहा था वो हम लोगों को मार के उसे खुशी मिल रही है। ऐसा लग नहीं रहा था कि वो कुछ गलत काम कर रहा है या उसे कुछ अपराध, मतलब उसे गिल्टी फील हो रहा है। ऐसा लग रहा है उसे मजा आ रहा है मारने में। और मैं क्वेश्चन मारती है कि आखिर ये कौन है जिसके हाथ में इतनी बड़ी गन है और वो अंधाधुंध गोली फायरिंग किए जा रहा है। मेरे सामने काफी लाशों है और मुझे खुद को एक गोली आके लग जाती है, मैं गिर जाती हूँ। बाद में मैं बेहोश हो गई। वहां से मुझे जेजे हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट किए। जेजे हॉस्पिटल में भी काफी पेशेंट थे। डॉक्टर ऐसे ही ऑपरेशन करे थे, उनके पास टाइम नहीं था कि किसी को बेहोश कर पाए और किसी को नहीं कर पाए। वो देख के मैं और डर गई, घबरा गई। वहां मेरा ऑपरेशन नहीं हुआ। वहां से मुझे जेजे शिफ्ट किए गए। जेजे हॉस्पिटल में करीबन मैं 1.5 महीना एडमिट रही। मेरा पैर का 6 ऑपरेशन हुआ। मेरे पैर से गोली निकाली गई। आज भी वो कसाब का चेहरा मेरे नजरों के सामने, आज भी वो रात मुझे इतनी तरीके से याद आती है। हर पल, हर एक सेकंड में उससे झेलती हूँ सर। उस पल को मैं याद करती हूँ, वो कभी भूल नहीं सकती। और कुछ लोग आके उसके ऊपर ऐसी चीजें टिप्पणी करके चले जाते, कुछ भी बोलकर, तो ये तो गलत है ना सर। हमारी भावनाओं के साथ मत खेलिए। हमें कसाब को फांसी दिलाने के लिए भी कितना लड़ना पड़ा है। कसाब को फांसी भी इतनी लेट हुई है। उस बीच में भी काफी हमें धमकियां आई, काफी लोगों का हमसे बर्ताव चेंज हो गया। और उसके बाद भी अगर मुझे ये सुनने में आता है कि कसाब की गोली नहीं लगी ऑफिसर को, तो किसकी गोली लगी सर? अगर आपके पास प्रूफ है तो मैं तो बोलना चाहती हूँ आप सामने लाइए ना। बिना जाने, बिना बातें जाने आप किसी से सिर्फ सुनी सुनाई बातें पे यकीन नहीं करनी चाहिए। हमारे आप इंडियन गवर्नमेंट पे जो सबूत रखा गया, आप उस पर शक किया जा रहे हैं।
और देविका, ये भी एक पॉइंट है कि ये जो सारे बातें हो रही है वो चुनाव के दौरान हो रही है। तो इसलिए मैं एक लास्ट सवाल आपसे पूछता हूँ देविका जी, वो ये है कि अगर आप विजय वडेट्टीवार जो लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन हैं, जाने माने नेता हैं, कोई स्मॉल टाइम नेता तो नहीं है, बिल्कुल सीनियर वरिष्ठ नेता है कांग्रेस के, अगर वो आपकी बात सुन रहे हैं अभी, आप उनसे डायरेक्टली क्या बोलेंगे?
मैं उनसे तो यही कहना चाहती हूँ सर, आप ऐसी बातें मत करिए, क्योंकि आप जिस पोस्ट पे हो आपकी बड़ी रिस्पेक्ट है। आप देश के लिए कुछ करिए, जो आतंकवाद है उन्हें खत्म करने के लिए करिए। आप ऐसे भाषण ना दीजिए, क्योंकि ऐसा लग रहा है कि पाकिस्तान वाले को लगेगा कि आप उनके साथ हो और आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा दे रहे हो। सो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ सर, प्लीज ऐसी बातें ना कीजिए। जो ऑफिसर शहीद हो गए, हमें उनकी रिस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए, हमें उनके लिए कुछ करना चाहिए, ना ही कि उनका अपमान करना चाहिए।
देविका रोतावन, हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद। हम आपको ऑल द बेस्ट बोलते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच देविका जी फॉर स्पीकिंग टू इंडिया टुडे। थैंक यू। एंड नाउ शिफ्टिंग फोकस अवे फ्रॉम पॉलिटिक्स ओवर टेरर to the continuing exodus from India's oldest party, the Congress Party. You've seen a spate of exits, high-profile exits from the Congress Party in the recent past. These 3 exits, Gaurav Vallabh, Rohan Gupta, and the latest now, Radhika Khera. All 3 high-profile spokespersons and television faces who carried the Congress Party's message to the masses. All 3 of them have resigned in quick succession, the latest being Radhika Khera at the far end of the screen. And they've all quit for the same stated reason, which is that they disagreed with the Congress's stand on the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha. Radhika Khera says she has been victimized, isolated and made an outcast by the Congress Party for visiting Ayodhya and doing darshan at the Ram Mandir. I spoke to Radhika Khera and I put some difficult questions to her about her exit now from the Congress Party. Take a look. Radhika, we've seen emotional scenes from you, a letter
that you've put out in resignation from the Congress party after over 2 decades of service with, India's oldest political organization. I want to speak in specifics here, Radhika, because you've said that your decision to go to Ayodhya and do darshan at the Ram Mandir is what has triggered a certain amount of isolation and victimization within the party. Let's speak in specifics. What exactly happened?
Shiv, after I visited the Ram Mandir, I went and paid obeisances at the Ram Mandir, and I see Ramji is the Mandir. Ramji ka Mandir banna has been a dream of every Hindu worldwide, and for decades, पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी ये हमारी इच्छा रही है. And finally, when the Ram Mandir was made and the मूर्ति की स्थापना हुई, it was a moment that one cannot describe and put in words. And when I took my mother over there and I came back, literally जो वो शब्द है ना, मतलब I am sorry I have to say it in हिंदी कि मैं राम में हो गई. उसके बाद there was nothing. That day the energy that I realized after going there was there's nothing comparable to that. And I came back and I put Jai Shri Ram ka jhanda on my house because it's not any political party. Jai Shri Ram and Ramji is not a political party, but unfortunately the Congress party made it into a political party. They continuously started saying that if you are a Hindu, then you are with the Bharatiya Janata Party. You talk about being secular, you talk about being the rakshaks of the constitution, but you are the ones who are actually against the constitution. You are the ones who are trying to destroy the Samvidhan.
Did the victimization start when you came back from the Ram Mandir, Radhika? Did it start immediately?
It started then. Yes, it did. I was taken off debates. I was hardly sent to debates. I was continuously pulled up for being too Hindu. I was continuously pulled up regularly earlier also for being too Hindu, and that I would bring up.
Who said that? Who said you're being too Hindu?
The point that my leaders, Jairam Ramesh, and as also the media department continuously who sends us on debates, they clearly said it. And everyone, I was continuously told that the leadership is very unhappy that you're too Hindu. It was continuously said that. And I was continuously pulled off debates because of that. What was very sad was that, yes.
When the Congress party decided not to attend the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, Radhika, did you raise your voice at that time? Did you register your opposition to that decision?
Absolutely, I did.
Tell us to who did you register that opposition and what happened?
To everyone. I spoke to Pavanji, I spoke to Jairamji, I raised it everywhere that this is not correct, that letter should not have been written. And my words were, ये पीढ़ियों तक हमें तकलीफ देगा जो आपने चिट्ठी लिखी है. And getting, if you are getting someone to write the letter, it was not written by a Hindu. It was written by a person who is a Muslim. Obviously, his emotions will be different. And why do you have to get it written by anyone for that matter? Jairam Ramesh ji needs a PA to write his letter. He is the head of the communication department. And then who was sanctioning that letter? Obviously, it had the approval of Rahul Gandhi ji and Priyanka Gandhi ji. You can do dramas by going to temples. You can play temple tourist all the time when there's election. But at the time when the Ram Mandir was being inaugurated, the Murti ki sthapna ho rahi thi, at that time, you should have stood with the nation. How can they forget that? How Congress had been, I used to always say this, that, sir, why are we not raising the issue that Rajiv Gandhi ji opened the doors of the mandir? I was told never to raise that issue.
Okay, fair enough, but Radhika, did you try and take the issue before, Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi, not just Jairam Ramesh? Let's put Jairam Ramesh aside for a moment. You've been in the Congress party long enough to have a direct kind of connection or to get an audience with someone like a Priyanka or a Rahul. Did you try to do that?
Oh, Shiv, you've been covering politics for very, very long. Nobody can reach Rahul Gandhi ji and Priyanka Gandhi ji. I've been waiting for 2.5 years requesting for appointments regularly. I'm sent from one PA to another PA. But I still continue to work in the party. I still don't say. Maybe they're very busy. They're busy. Like our former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh was busy playing Candy Crush. Maybe he was playing Candy Crush with Rahul Gandhi ji and Priyanka Gandhi ji only. So that's what keeps the Congress party and its leaders busy. They don't have time to meet the people. And Shiv, I tried to meet Rahul Gandhi ji during the Nyaya Yatra when he was in Chhattisgarh, because I was also looking after the media for the Nyaya Yatra. He would come out, he would just wave his hands in small rallies. and go back to his trailer. It was more like, he was like a blogger tourist who's just traveling around for his blog and his photographs. He did not meet one Karyakarta, and then there would be a message that Rahul Gandhi ji is going to meet people for a photo opportunity. 30 seconds, click picture and out. Not one word he would speak with his people. If you're traveling, you're talking about Nyay, you're going on a yatra, spending lakhs of rupees per day. That was the money that our Congress party had collected. Who was paying for that yatra? Now today when we are in an election mode, then the party says we have no money, while the money was being used to fulfill the dreams and desires of Rahul Gandhi ji and his travel expectations. He should have spoken to our Karyakartas. If you're traveling on the Congress party's money, you should be meeting the Karyakartas. But Rahul Gandhi ji did not have time. You talk about being Samvidhan ke Rakshak, you talk about Mahila Nyay. There's a girl in your house asking for justice, but you are not giving her justice. You're talking about Samvidhan, you are talking about secularism, but you are the ones who have been pulling her up for being a Hindu and going to the Ram Mandir, and because of that you create an entire event to throw her out.
Radhika, you've painted a picture of being an outcast within the Congress party once you expressed your reservations about this boycott of the Ram Mandir event. You couldn't possibly have been alone in the Congress. There must have been other people like you who thought exactly like you and were maybe either not empowered or couldn't really speak up. We've seen people like Rohan Gupta, Gaurav Vallabh and others resigning from the Congress for similar reasons to yours. They've all brought up the Ram Mandir Ayodhya issue just like you. Does that indicate that there was a lot of disagreement with the leadership's decision at that time?
See, Shiv, every Hindu was waiting for the Ram Mandir to be built, and every Hindu has been waiting to go and do darshan. So, वो सबके दिल में था. That is one thing जिसने सबको पीड़ा दी. हर कार्यकर्ता को, हर नेता को, हर office bearer को. Some people had the guts to come out in public and take a stand on it. Some people were made to shut up, like I was made to shut up. But eventually I had to come out, and I am telling you with guarantee and with utmost responsibility, there are going to be many more people who are going to be leaving the party, and only 3 people are going to be left, 4 people are going to be left, mind you, in the party. Rahul Gandhi ji, Priyanka Gandhi ji, Mallikarjun Kharge ji and Jairam Ramesh ji. Then they can all fight for Nyay amongst themselves.
Radhika, I'm not belittling your experience within the Congress party, but, your critics will say that the bitterness with which you are suddenly speaking about Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party suggests that you've already made your mind up to leave the sinking ship, and ye bas bahane hain. These are just excuses that you're finding it to make it seem like principled indignation to leave the Congress party. How would you defend against that? Your critics will say that about you, saying that this is all drama now.
Shiv, on the 30th night, first morning at 1:34 a.m., I messaged Alankar ji, I messaged Kaushal Vidyarthi ji, I messaged Sandeep ji, I messaged...
These are people from Rahul Gandhi's team.
Jairam Ramesh ji, I messaged everyone. Yes, because they are the only people you can talk to. The party is run by PAs. The party is not run by the people themselves directly. You have to speak to them only. So I messaged all of them. I brought that up and I wrote to Jairam Ramesh ji also. The only response that I got from one person was Mr. Alankar Savai, that he said, have you raised this with Jairam ji? And I said, yes, I have sent him the same message. And I told him the other things as well. And I raised the complete issue, which I had raised in person during the Nyay Yatra. I wrote it down and then I spoke to him that I was locked up in a room by 3 men of the Congress party. And my point is that you're talking about Nyay. You abuse me, you do everything possible. Can you imagine a woman locked up in the Congress office by 3 men for 1.5 minutes? What must have gone through my head, what I must have been going through, and what was the intention of these people? 6 days, a show cause notice was also not sent. If something like that happens in the India Today office, would a show cause notice not be sent to both the parties?
We've seen something
no
like this.
No show cause notice was sent for
Radhika, you mentioned Priyanka Chaturvedi also in your press conference. Priyanka Chaturvedi, who is now with the Udhav Sena. Something like this happened with her as well. She also left the Congress party under a cloud over an incident of this kind. Are you saying that, if a person goes against the larger party writ on a sensitive issue, it doesn't matter? Women's safety doesn't matter. Is that what you're alleging?
Yes, women's safety doesn't matter as long as you're following. And I was following everything that the Congress party asked me to do. When Gaurav Vallabhji and Rohan Gupta ji left the party, I was told that since that time my Ram Mandir was advantageous to them going to the Ram Mandir. So they said, since you've been to the Ram Mandir, you will go on debates and counter them and tell them that no one stopped you from going to the Ram Mandir ji. And now the same party is trolling me for that. Leaving that aside, when same thing happened with Priyanka Gandhi ji, it happened outside but also on a party forum where she was at a press conference. What happened to me was inside the Congress office in Chhattisgarh. And what happened to a Dalit leader, Archana Gautam ji, again happened inside 24 Akbar Road. She was beaten up by the goons of Priyanka Gandhi ji on her ishara. And when she said that, when all these things happened, even Ankita Datta ji, when she resigned, when she raised her voice against B.V. Srinivas, who they call a so-called savior, when he misbehaved with her and she raised her voice, she sat down during Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra on the road, waiting for him that maybe when he passes he would speak to her. She was thrown out of the party for raising her voice. Okay. I was humiliated and I've been asking for Nyaya, but nothing happened. No action was taken. Either the woman has to leave, keep quiet, or she's thrown out of the party.
Last question, Radhika, in that case, which is that, given how angry you are, justifiably so, given all the things that you're claiming happened within the Congress party, are you headed into the BJP? The reason I'm asking it straight is because all of the other people we've just spoken about, whether it is Gaurav Vallabh, whether it is Arvinder Singh Lovely, whether it is Rohan Gupta, they've all quit based on, principled issues, and then, a few days later joined the BJP. Are we going to see you at the BJP office soon?
6 days have passed, 7 days have passed, Shiv, since the entire incident took place. I am still waiting that the party is going to remove that man from his position. The party is going to send him a show cause notice. He still continues to do a press conference every day with national leaders like Pawan Kheda ji, Gurdeep Sappal ji, and our national spokespersons like Alok Sharma ji, the state PCC president, the former Deepak Baig, the former Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel ji, who is continuously protecting him. And he still continues to be a face of the party. I am still waiting for the Congress party to take action or send him a show cause notice. That answers that. And then when they blame me and they're saying that I'm a part of the Bharatiya Janata Party or I'm going to join Bharatiya Janata Party, the party should see within themselves what is stopping them from taking action. Who is scripting this? Why is Rahul Gandhi ji? Why is Priyanka Gandhi ji? Why is Mallikarjun Kharge ji so scared of taking action against someone who is protected by Shri Bhupesh Baghel ji? What has he been supplying to these people? What is the relation between Bhupesh Baghel ji and these people that they are so scared to take any action against?
Radhika Khera, thank you very much for taking our questions and thank you for being here on India Today. Thanks.
And here's how things are hotting up on the campaign trail. Radhika Khera gives that interview to India Today following her resignation, and her words are taken up by none other than Prime Minister Modi during one of his rallies. He's targeted the Congress over Radhika Khera quitting the Congress party for being victimized over her visit to the Ram Mandir. Take a look. Here's what the Prime Minister has said.
तुष्टीकरण में डूबी कांग्रेस ने अयोध्या में राम मंदिर का बायकॉट कर दिया। कांग्रेस का कोई नेता अगर भक्ति भाव से राम मंदिर चला जाता है तो उसे पार्टी से निकाल दिया जाता है।
It's the latest mountain of cash that's been neatly arranged in the alphabet of the agency that has cracked down and found it, this time not in some warehouse, but in the home of the house help of the aide of a Congress minister in Jharkhand. Here you are being treated to pictures of officials counting an enormous mountain of cash that's been discovered in a Jharkhand minister's aide's house help's home. Alamgir Azam is a minister who is close to the leadership. There are plenty of pictures of him with Rahul Gandhi, with Mallikarjun Kharge, with others, since we are in a season where photographs seem to imply collusion or complicity. That's the only reason we're showing you. But here is Munish Pandey's report on the latest shameless Paisa parade.
Piles of cash seized in Jharkhand. The Enforcement Directorate on Monday found allegedly unaccounted cash running into crores. The cash was recovered from the residence of the domestic help of the Secretary of State, Minister Alamgir Alam. Videos and photos showed officials of the Central Probe Agency taking out wads of currency notes from large bags in a room in the house. The person who allegedly kept the cash works as a domestic help of Minister Alam's personal secretary, Sanjeev Lal. Note counting machines were deployed to count the cash to ascertain the exact amount, which could range between 20 and 30 crore rupees, according to ED sources. Some jewellery was also recovered in addition to the cash. Alamgir Alam, a Congress leader representing Pakur seat in the Jharkhand Assembly, evades queries on the cash haul.
संजीव लाल एक सरकारी मुलाजिम है, वो हमारा पीएस है और हम लोग भी जब भी पीएस यूएस सिलेक्शन करते हैं तो अनुभव के आधार पर करते हैं। इसके पहले भी दो मंत्री का पीएस रह चुके थे। अब हम लाए हैं, सरकारी मुलाजिम है। टीवी में आप लोग जो देख रहे हैं हम भी वही देख रहे हैं। अब ईडी का क्या निष्कर्ष आएगा बाद में बताया जाएगा।
The BJP targeted the JMM Congress coalition government in Jharkhand with the Prime Minister leading the charge.
आज यहाँ पड़ोस में झारखंड में नोटों के पहाड़ मिल रहे हैं, नोटों के पहाड़। लोगों का चोरी किया माल पकड़ रहा है मोदी वहां। अब मुझे बताइए, मैं चोरी बंद कर दूं, इनकी कमाई बंद कर दूं, इनकी लूट बंद कर दूं, तो मोदी को गाली देंगे कि नहीं देंगे?
आप तो आलमगीर आलम को मंत्रिमंडल से बर्खास्त करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि उनके नौकर के यहाँ अगर इतना, इनका निजी सचिव के नौकर के घर से अगर इतनी करोड़ रुपया बरामद होता है, तो मंत्री के घर और मंत्री के सचिव बाकी लोगों के घरों में छापामारी होगा तो पता नहीं कितना करोड़ों टका मिलेगा, तो यहाँ वहाँ रखा होगा।
ED sources say these raids are in connection with an ongoing investigation in a money laundering case against Virendra K. Ram, former chief engineer of the Jharkhand Rural Development Department, who was arrested last year. The cash is linked to alleged irregularities in the implementation of schemes in the department. Virendra K. Ram was arrested in February 2023 by the Enforcement Directorate after the probe agency launched multiple searches in Ranchi, Jamshedpur and other places in Jharkhand along with Bihar and Delhi. Last year, Congress MP Dheeraj Sahu had hit national headlines after nearly 350 crore rupees were recovered in income tax raid on firms linked to him. The latest cash haul by ED could become an embarrassment for the Congress in the middle of the Lok Sabha campaign. Bureau Report, India Today.